Hello, hello. Hello. I think we got it right this week. Oh, probably should have covered it. Look at this. A bit messy. Anyway, from my couch to yours. How are we? Evening, Laura. Disco Dean Ferris. Hello, mate. How are you? Mate, I've been slack. I haven't got your parcel away. I'll get that away. I bet I'll do that tomorrow. I'll set myself a target for tomorrow. I'm slack, man. I'm slack. Stephen Dangelmeyer. Cam McKee, how are you, champion? Hello, mate. Lisa Skinner, Duffy, hello, mate. Hello. Jamie, good evening, mate. How are we, guys? How are we? As I said, my couch to yours. Here we are. Not bad. Steve Dangle, good to hear, mate. So, how was your long weekend? How was your long? Hey, first I want to apologise. Bloody daylight savings, hey. Sorry, I just mucking around. Daylight savings. So I got a message there before I put my post up just to say I was on the night 7:30, same as usual. And Adam, how are you, mate? Gary Brad and Michael Harvey, hello, mate. 7:30, as same as usual, same as every week. Forgot about bloody daylight savings. So look, guys, I don't know why we just don't come online. Us Queenslanders, it's a pain in the bum. It's not. It used to be a real drama when I used to do spare parts for a while. I used to work for a wholesaler, and we had offices not only in Brisbane where I work, but we also had their main offices were Sydney and Melbourne, and just doing working around that was a pain, daylight saving, because you had to get your orders in an hour earlier each day if you want to order stuff from Melbourne and Sydney and Adelaide. It's just a pain. I don't know why we're all on the same page with so many things. I think that's everything, but isn't it? Like, even I know we're separate states, but why don't we do the same stuff? Like, licenses and registration, and why isn't it just national anyway? That's a bit of a rant there, but so thanks very much to all the Mexicans for tuning in once again. It's probably getting close to your bedtime. No, anyway, it's probably getting close to your bedtime for some of you, but anyway, I thank you very much for tuning in, because obviously 8:30 or whatever down there. DD, hello, how are you? Dave Hamilton, hello, champion. They should drop it and come to us, mate. Actually, I don't think I'm out of turn here, but one of the guys from Melbourne who's big in the scene down there put up a post last week. Who's moving to Queensland? And he was serious. He was like, "Well, I'm definitely thinking about it." There was other people down there looking at it. So hey, it'd be interesting. I know plenty of people have over the years, but still, with everything going on at the moment, like, it's still nuts down there, isn't it, Rick? Hello, mate. Harley, how are you, champion? Good to see that car's. They're pushing along hard with that car, mate. So again, thanks for tuning in, guys. And actually, I want to run through it. It's been a crazy year. Of course, we all know that, but I keep banging on about it. But it has been in so many ways. I'm proud to say, and I just want to run through them before I forget. I've still got 5 events that I'm calling this year. I've got 2 at Palmyra still to come in Mackay, and 3 at Benarabi. I'll just run through them. So upcoming events for me on the microphone, which is great. 16th, 17th at Palmyra. They got their Chicago shootout round up there, so it'd be great to get back up there. That's only a couple of weeks away. Then I've got Benarabi 30th, 31st of this month. That's round 6 of the championship for Benarabi. Then on the 7th, Dobinson Suspension up here, I believe in Rockhampton, is supporting an event there. They're trying to get off the ground. It's a 4-wheel drive event at Benarabi. Numbers are down a little bit at the moment, guys. So if you're in the area, see if we can get some numbers through a bit more for that. Great to have that sponsor on board, and just something different. I was part of the start of the diesel drags down there at Willowbank. Well, it's probably 4 years ago, might be 16, 17, something like that. And some of those diesel nights were huge, like 200 plus entries on a couple of nights, and it was just to get good to get a bit of a different, almost demographic, and just get guys to the track. And it was crazy. Some of the stuff you see, some of those 4-wheel drives and diesel cars and all that sort of stuff was just cool, just something different. And like I said, it offered something to a different group of people, so it was good to get. We had all sorts of things, like mainly four drives, but you'd see like patrols trying to throw the diff out of it, massive axle tramp, all sorts of stuff going on. There was some serious carnage at some events. I remember one night we had one Hilux to go for the night, and this thing was a bit hopped up. I think it was a turbocharged thing, and it came out and it ripped the diff centre clean out. Ripped the tail shaft at the front of the diff clean out of the housing and finished about 300 feet. So it was already 10 o'clock at night or whatever the finish time was. Or no, it might have been early. Anyway, took us. So then we had a 45-minute clean up before we could go home for the night. But anyway, but good events. And like I said, they got that 4-drive event coming up here in Benarabi on the 7th, sponsored by Dobinson's. So if there's anyone in the local area, can we spread the word about that? See if we can get some more people onto that. 2021st, I'm back at Palmyra for another one of their rounds. And then Benarabi's got their final, 27th, 28th here in Gladstone, the final of their track championship. So still got 5 events to go. I'm really stoked to have that for the rest of the year. I've already got some inquiries for next year, which is fantastic. I think you have to keep looking forward and see what's coming up. So especially this year, it's been, I think it's the unknown. Like I said, it's the unknown. Rick Barron for PM. Nah, mate, jeez, I couldn't hack that pressure, mate. I can't. Yeah, anyway, no way, not a chance. Guys go, why wouldn't they want to be up here? Anthony Schofield, mate. I don't know, mate. I'm enjoying it. I haven't got around as much as I'd like to, but I'll do that. Oh, my washing's finished. I might. No, I'll get that later. So I've just got some laundry. Anyway, but I'm enjoying it up here. It's nice and it's fairly relaxed, mate. It's a nice area. Obviously a bit of industrial going on, but there's that blend. They've done a lot with the area, and you've got some beaches not far away. And I've got to do some more travelling, so I'm looking forward to that. Actually, on the weekend, I've got an old Commodore Ute that I picked up that needs a little bit of work, so I've just been mucking around with that. I'll do a little bit more mucking around on the weekend. I'll probably register that maybe within the next few weeks. And just run around. I have a work ute, but I thought, I'll get my own car just so I can do a little bit of driving around and have a look around, because people keep saying, well, even I don't know the area as well as I should, we get customers coming into the shop from all over central Queensland, so I've got to learn a little bit more about the local area and that. So it's good. It's a bit of an adventure, a bit of Leyland Brothers stuff. I mean, the ideal plan is I want to get to the point at some stage, and I'm under no I don't believe I'm going to last. I don't think I'm going to last 80 or whatever. I just haven't looked after myself as well as I should, and I'm realistic about that. And I'm not saying it to be, morbid or anything. It's just a fact. But the ideal plan is that I want to just get in a bus. I want to get a bus or something that I can just go for a drive, And in the ideal world, like in the perfect world, the dream world, that'd be from track to track or event to event, and just get around and see Australia and go to different events and see different people and enjoy different stuff. That's the plan. That's the plan. Whether it comes off, you never know. But that's the plan. And like I said, it's just me at the moment, so maybe I can do that at some stage. So anyway, that's something to aim for. But I want to do a bit of travelling and getting around and seeing. But yeah, so I've had some inquiries already about next year. One inquiry I had yesterday, I won't say too much about, but it's a motorsport I haven't done before. So I'm always willing to try something different. Get the altered finish, mate. Mate, I think I've pretty much given up on it. I think I wouldn't mind. So I think most of you know that I've got an altered. It's a short wheelbase, other than nostalgia style thing. Actually, a memory popped up the other day. I've had it for 8 years, and Steve Dengelmeyer was instrumental in getting it up here for me. I bought it out of Newcastle as a roller, and he managed through his business, managed to get it up here for me at the time, and I got into it in a bit of a way, and I started getting some parts together, and I bought a whole heap of new stuff, and I went through some stuff, and then I had to get job changes and all that sort of stuff. And then I had to get some chassis work done. That turned into a bit of a shit fight, to be honest. Let's just say that from the time I got it quoted to the time I picked it up, it 4 times the amount, and I got the poos with it a bit because I didn't have that sort of coin at the time. So it's been parked. It was parked in the shed, and then obviously I moved up here, and it's in the trailer, and I don't want to get rid of it, but if I wanted, I can't do the commentary, I can't do the announcing, which I love doing, obviously, and race. I can't do both. If I do sell it, it will be a bit of a hollow feeling because I just wanted to finish it and have a go, get out there and have a go, and just it doesn't stress me that much. But I've had people say to me, I've had people passing comments to say maybe a racer makes a better commentator, and I haven't really raced, to be honest. Like, I've had a few goes in different street cars over the years and that, so in a way it'd be an accomplishment to get that finish and have a go, just so I could say I have a go, but the expense to get it finished, anyway. So I think I'd come back mainly from my 3 weekends away, so I had Power Cruise at QR at Willowbank there. I had then I went to Mackay for Power Fest, and then I travelled back there for Radial at Willowbank. So those 3 weekends, and over that time I sort of thought, well, maybe I need to get rid of the altered and get like a street-based thing that maybe I can have a bit of fun with if I wanted to. 2 racing nights to a weekend, just saying. Just have someone drive it. Keep it and just have someone drive it. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, so I sort of come back from there and I'm like, that's it. I've got a plan, and I sort of got a bit of an idea in my mind that I want a bit of a street-based thing. Something I can drive on the street, but also if I want to have a bit of fun, I can do that. So I've sort of been working towards that, or thinking that way, and planning and just looking into different things over the last few weeks. To do that, the altered's got to go. So, but as it stands at the moment, when I moved up here, the altered's I've got an enclosed trailer. It's like a horse. Actually, it's not a bad thing. It's a trailer that's enclosed, but it's got a horse float roof on it, and that's been extended. And I picked it up for the right money at the time, so it's not a bad thing. But the altered's in there, and then I packed everything around it, so out of my shed. So I've got toolboxes and compressors and tools and tyres and wheels and all sorts of stuff out of my shed. You can hardly see the altered, it's all packed in there. The bloody trailer is seriously heavy, and it's parked at a workshop up here, a mate of mine. So even if I want to sell it, I've got to empty a heap of shit out of the trailer, I guess, to do that. Anyway, do what makes you happy. That's 100% DD. That's what it comes down to, isn't it? So you just have to do Bezza, hello mate, CJ, hello man. Yeah, so I don't know. I've had things over the years, and you get ideas and you have plans and you get things in your head, and like I've had some projects that I just haven't finished. So it'd be good to finish up, and I don't know, things happen, money, money, how much does money affect everything, eh? And just the way things have worked out, and I've been, I haven't worked as hard as I could have at times, or I've missed opportunities, or I haven't taken advantage of opportunities, and so I just don't have the funds there. So I'm sort of starting again each time. So yeah, it's like I've had projects and stuff I should have. So I'll give you a perfect example. When I was an apprentice, I'm actually a mechanic by trade, but I couldn't wait to get out of it because I wasn't sure what I was doing after school. I actually repeated grade 12 twice, just to give you an idea, because I had no idea what I was going to do. And at the time, believe it or not, I was pretty heavily involved in track and field. My parents ran a track and field club, started and ran one in our town, our local town, and I was actually involved in that pretty heavily. Obviously, I was a lot fitter back then. And my dad was a coach. He wasn't full time, but he was pretty much full time. He used to do a lot of, like, I remember we used to train, so from where we lived to QE2 Stadium, which is ANZ Stadium now, which is where they held the 1982 Commonwealth Games here in Brisbane. So it's a pretty synonymous sort of place here in Brisbane. We used to travel there 2 or 3 times a week. It was our life. The track and field, the athletics, as we call it, was our life. For 13 years I was sort of involved. So anyway, getting back to where I was going, so at the end of school I didn't know what I wanted to do, and my dad was coaching at another school that my sister was at, another high school, and they said to me, what are you doing next year? This was the principal that we got on quite well with. It was a guy, Damien Barker, his name was. He was a really top bloke at this school, and he said, what are you doing next year? And I said, I honestly don't know. And I was helping Dad train and coach some of the kids and that. At the time, I was pretty heavily into, I got into all sorts. I pretty much did every event you can do over the years in athletics. But at one stage, I was pretty heavily into javelin. I used to throw the javelin, and I was reasonable. It wasn't great, but I was reasonable. Then I popped my elbow, popped it out, and just couldn't, like at the time, I couldn't afford surgery or anything, and it was bearable. But anyway, so I haven't been able to throw anywhere near as I pretty much had to give it up there. But I was training and helping my dad coach and that sort of stuff, and it was quite interesting. Kept me busy. Anyway, so this principal said to me, "Well, what are you doing next year?" And I said, "I don't know what I'm doing." And he said, "Well, do you want to come? Have you thought about doing grade 12 again?" And I said, not really, And he goes, well, all expenses paid. So it was basically a scholarship, and you can help train the kids. And when, it was a bit of, like I was reasonable. I was reasonable. I wasn't great. I wasn't very, I wasn't national standard or anything, but I was solid, in some of those things. So anyway, so I went back and I did grade 12 again. So it was interesting. I did a lot better in my results and that. But I was still pretty lazy at the end of the day. But anyway, so to get that out of the way. So after that, I didn't know what I was doing, and I went to and did management at TAFE for a while, and we did like 18 months of that. And then an opportunity came. I was doing part-time at a service station. So they said in the workshop that was attached to the service station, well, do you want to come and give us a hand here? So I took on an apprenticeship, long story short. So at the time, I think it was $165 a week or whatever it is, and you tell kids that these days and they sort of laugh, and I guess, older people tell you what they were paid back when they were, that same age, and you laugh. It's just, that's inflation and the way the world moves on. Anyway, so I was sort of half into the drags. I was going to the drags. I was just interested in cars, and I talked my mum into helping me buy Monaro. So I bought a HQ Monaro, an LS Monaro, had a small block, 350 small block, turbo 4, 9-inch, it had all the gear, and Mum went guarantor on it on the loan anyway. So I bought that. As it turned out, I couldn't afford to keep it, so I had it probably 2 years, and I sold it after that because my mum was selling her house that I was living with. It was at my sister's house because she had a shed, and then she was moving, so... Anyway, so I ended up pretty much giving it away, and you kick yourself now. You look at the prices of cars and that these days, and you just kick yourself. It's just crazy what's happening at the moment, and it always comes back to that adage: the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, sort of thing. It's out of the realm for many now to have something half decent. That's just me. That's my opinion. And I take my hat off to anyone that's put together a car or a bike and especially something to race. I mean, it's a massive commitment. There's a lot of money involved, and you guys have worked very hard for it. And I guess I just haven't worked as hard as I needed to do to achieve that. So I've bought other projects along the way, and I've ended up selling them. So it'd be good to finish something. So anyway, that's the plan. Hopefully we get there with something some stage. But anyway. So I've had some inquiries. There are people interested in the altered. Like I said, it's a nostalgia style thing, and even some of the parts on it are very Like the front wheels in particular, you know, are very rare on it. So I've had inquiries about them, and so I should be able to sell it when the crunch comes. But I'll be sad. I'll be sad when I sell it. Anyway, we'll see how we go. What do we got? Evening, Lee, how are you going? Go to hand dragsters, mate. Yeah, I wanted to build another one. There you go. Well, sort of half finished, but John and I, of course, did that. HJ Monaro for Grant Berry Rowan Brown, $90 first year. Yeah, mate. It's crazy when you think back. Actually, I remember, so it was $162. My car payments were $50. Yeah, $50 a week. Fuel, I'd be lucky because it was a V8, even though I wasn't driving that far. I still do a bit of driving around. It was like 30, $40 a week. So there you go, you got 90 out of 160. You know, by the time we bought a few other things, and then back then it was, you know, right or wrong, it was a bit of a priority. I always had to buy a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I had a bottle of Jack Daniels pretty much every week, which was $30 or whatever back then. So that pretty much there was your 160 gone, you know. So if you had any other expenses come up, you were in a bit of trouble. But anyway, that's how that's how I lived at the time, and that's how it is. Mick Apps, hello mate, your event coming up. So yeah, so guys, like I said, I've got 5 events coming up for this year, and like I said, already got inquiries for next year. So if anyone's listening and looking for someone, like I said, I'm always keen to open options, and if I can do it, I'd love to do it. I'd love to have the opportunity to do extra events and more events, and because it's what I love doing, and you know, I'm sure you can all appreciate that. But what we all get up to on the long weekend, I didn't do much. Like I said, I just ginned around on this ute. I also got a bike that I'm putting together, much to my surprise, I guess. But I've always had a bit of a thing against bikes, which seems strange to be working in the Harley shop. But I had friends that had some major injuries over the years, and I just had this thing about them. And I've probably only honestly been on a bike maybe half a dozen times or something in my life. But anyway, I thought maybe it's just time to do something different. So I've got so up here, it's quite, I think it's around the country. But it's quite difficult up here these days to get your motorbike license. It's quite a process. So it pretty much used to be you turned up and did a little course and you were signed off and you were good to go. But now it's like, it's a real process. So I'm looking at that. Anyway, I picked up a cheap bike through work, and it's a V-Star 650, so it's not a Harley, but it's up here they call it LAMS, so it's Learner Approved Motorcycle Scheme, that stands for. So there's a list of bikes that you can and can't use, and the 650 is about the biggest bike physically that you can get on a lamb. So I thought, oh well, because I'm not going to ride something little because I look like a goose, you know. A clown at the circus rides a little, little short pedal bike, the foot tall. I'd look like that. Anyway, so that's what I've got, and I'm doing something with that. And I'll try and put some photos up later, but I pulled that apart a bit, and we're painting it a little bit different, black and white, of course, just to make it a little bit different and make it my own. So that's coming too, so that's, I'll finish that and I'll get on to that as well. So anyway, I'm just ginning around. Australia Day, prime example. All right, you brought up a story there. So Jess Beckham's on there. Hello, mate. We had an Australia Day party at mine and my ex-wife's Beck's house many years ago. It was a killer party. We decided to sort of thank everyone. It was a bit of a, it was a bit of a get-together between, our different groups. And anyway, we had a cracker party. I had a few cans, and we had a little Suzuki A100, and Beck still got it. It's a cool little bike that, actually, let's go to that. So, my ex-wife Beck, she got involved in the drags too once we met and that, and she enjoyed it, and then randomly said one day, I wouldn't mind having a go. And I'm like, well, what do you mean? And she said, on a bike. So, like, at first I was like, oh, no, not a bike, it's because it's still a bit scary to me. Everyone's got a story about somebody they know that's had an incident on a bike or a drama or whatever. So anyway, so I said, okay, if that's what you want to do. And she'd never ridden a bike. I said, well, if that's what you want to do, let's have a look around. Let's see if we can find something. So We went to a swap meet. I used to go to a lot of swap meets at the time. And we went to a swap meet in Bow Desert, which was close to where I grew up. And anyway, so we were walking around and we went, oh, what's that? And so there was a gentleman there, had a Suzuki A100, so that's a 100cc single cylinder bike. This was an 81 model. It was pretty clean, old thing. Had a few things, but anyway, he wanted to upgrade so he can get a scooter. So I think he had $1,000 on it. And I thought, well, that's, a little bit of fun and not a real big investment. And it's a good start. So anyway, so I got him down to $800, and we took it home. We took this little bloody Suzuki home. I had a Ute at the time. Had a bit of a muck around. Anyway, it was sort of running, got it. So anyway, so Beck decided to have a go. So Nostalgia Drags it was. We went to at Willowbank, and her first passes. Actually, we went to an industrial state near where I work first. That had a few goes. Had a few turns on it and just got a feel for it and changing gears and all that sort of stuff. And she was reasonably comfortable, so I thought, okay. So anyway, we signed up and she got some gear and we went to Nostalgia Drags. I think the first pass down the quarter was a 30.8. So, and lots of smoke, because it's two-stroke, lots of smoke and it was just it was cool and funny, and some people thought it was a bit crazy, but anyway. But it was fun. I put a smile on both our faces, and people in they all enjoyed it, thought it was funny, and thought it was cool. And then over time, Beck had a few more goes at Nostalgia Drags, and she ran some races. Actually, I think she ran a race against it on a 12-second bike, which was crazy because it looked like she was pretty much at 1,000 feet before he got to go. And anyway, she went all right. She had some good fun. We took it to Warwick a few times, so I just saw Maddie Lloyd jump on. Hello, mate. And Warwick a few times, and she raced it out there as well and got better and better and sort of got it worked out. Ended up getting the bike down to a 23.8. Yeah, 23.8. And according to the factory manual, those things went 54 miles an hour, flat out. That was from the factory. It ran 56 miles an hour. So I don't know how. We didn't really do anything to it. But anyway, so that was good fun, and Beck still got it in the shed there at the house, and she'd like to have another go. She had a go about 18 months ago, another go, so that was good, and hopefully, she gets it out again one day. So anyway, well, I'm rambling on tonight, but anyway, it's good, so yeah, Australia Day party, we get back, that's where we started. So I had a few cans, decided to come out so it was a bogan party. You had to turn up as a bogan, being an Aussie bogan, and I had, the old wife beater on. You probably can't call them that these days, but the blue singlet and the stubby shorts, and I had a pair of thongs on, and anyway, I come out and after a few cans and come roaring up the driveway, and everyone's sitting in our carport at the tables and that, and I nearly ended up in the crowd. But anyway, didn't know how close I was, probably didn't realise, and it wasn't until the next day I realised what sort of damage I'd done, because all the inside of my legs were just all bashed up because he was ugly. I was hanging off yeah, it could have been really ugly. It was stupid at the time, but we can sort of laugh at it now. But anyway, CJ Davies, Dragfest, yeah mate, she definitely did race at a Dragfest, yep. Steve Dengerby, yeah. So anyway, so I guess in telling that story too, you don't have to have a 5-second car or a 9-second car or to enjoy drag racing, and I think some people are a bit afraid to, look like a fool. I'm not thinking, but you can have a crack at it, and it's accessible for a lot of people. And the thing I like about particularly the regional tracks is, it's extended a little bit further, so the regulations are a little bit. The regulations are still there, but slower cars and bikes are welcomed more into the normal race meetings and that sort of thing. Whereas, bigger races, the bigger tracks are fairly restricted. So there's always an opportunity to get out there and enjoy drag racing. I've done it I had an automatic Gemini back in the day that ran 20. Actually, I remember it ran 20.7s. And then it it'd get warm. If it was warm, it'd drop like half a second. So I remember going like 21 threes. I took the air cleaner off and I picked up that 600, like six tenths, and so I ended up racing. I used to race a few street meets there at Willowbank in the old Gemini. It was automatic, and I'd race it, like pull it down into first, and then I'd shift at 40 k's an hour, and then I'd shift in the top at 70 k's an hour, and it was consistent because I kept that same routine, and I think I used to give some of the guys the shits because racing a 15 and up bracket, so they'd have 6-second chase on me, and I'd win a few rounds. So you got to get out there and have some fun, and we need to encourage guys and people to come out and do that. So I guess I need all you people to spread the word. We need to keep this sport sort of going and flourishing, and find new people, and keep the current crop we got, and just keep them interested. And there's lots of people that have disappeared over the years because of they got gone too far into it. So I guess that's the other thing. You got to understand your limitations and your boundaries and your economics of it all, because it is crazy. At the end of the day, to some extreme, it is crazy that we spend so much money on a hobby. But if you're having fun, that's all you can ask in life. You just got to have some fun. So anyway, it's all about having. There you go, Mick App's saying the exact same thing. So someone else, sorry, just rolling back a bit. Nick Matrevsky, sorry mate, I did see your comment there. Grudge Kings, mate, I don't think so. No, not this time, mate. Just with everything going on, I don't think I can come down this time, and especially if, I'm not even sure, and nobody is, are they really? I can't afford to, if I do go down, or if I cross the board, I can't do the whole quarantine thing, so both financially and just physically. So I don't think I'll be doing any further travelling over for now, and that's a shame, mate. I'm really going to miss that event. I was really looking forward to that, as I was looking forward to coming down to Sydney for the Kenda event. Now the boys put up a post during the week to say that that everything's at the moment still going ahead. They're still working towards that. That's on the 12th to the 14th of November in Sydney. So let's hope it's a bit more freedom in Australia leading up to that, and people can travel. But I don't know if I'll make that one either. I might have to sort of write the rest of the year off a little bit and plan for next year. So that's how it is. Like I said, I'd like to be at every event, but at the moment I probably can't. So anyway, but I'll be keeping a close eye on everything. Don't worry about that. I'm still very keen to on everything that's going on. So guys, yeah, I did want to mention that Grudge Kings is coming up. So Poe and the team in Sydney, looking forward to putting that on. It's a killer event. It really is a good event. All sorts of variety, some different classes. That grudge racing style is fantastic. A bit of money on the line too. So yeah, it was an excellent event last year. It was just a pleasure to be part of, and I really will miss it if I can't get there this time, which is like I'm saying, unlikely at the moment. If you're into the radial racing, guys, don't forget the big one's coming up. No Mercy 11. Like I said, if you are keen on that side of the sport, you've seen everything happening there, and of course Duck and his team are just amazing promoters. Like the amount of content that they put out to promote their event is fantastic, and love him or hate him, he's making things happen, and he runs a fantastic event. And I'll be there. I'll be there. One of these events in the future, I'll be there. I guarantee, and it'll pretty much be a dream come true because those events just look insane and just about the pinnacle. I've sort of steered away from, back in the day, say the 90s and 2000s, I was massive into NHRA, and I had my own heroes. Kenny Bernstein was one of my favourites, and of course John Force, and the likes of that. So that was always the pinnacle for me, and I wanted to get there and see one of those, and I still do. But it seemed to, I don't know, I'm not as interested in it as I used to be. I saw some footage from the weekend. How about Leah Pruitt's crash? Did you see that? That was just insane. reminiscent of Phil Lamartina's crashes here in Australia, where the chassis just snapped in half right at the foot box there. They're a lot safer now. They got those fully enclosed foot boxes, and she climbed straight out of the car, but just crazy. But one thing I did see, and I don't know if a lot of you saw it, but I don't know, a little bit scary. There's some footage from the grandstand where the front half, actually probably the front third of that car, comes flying over the fence and somehow misses a crowd, like small grand. They had small grandstands there, almost like we do at Willowbank, the old grandstands which are down in the Group 1 area. Those old grandstands, they had similar to that by the looks of it. I got to tell them the footage, and there was people there, and there was a golf buggy there, and it looks like this front of that car actually hit that golf buggy, but looked like everyone was okay. But it's just crazy footage to watch, and it scares you a little bit in that. Will there be any repercussions? It'd be interesting. I don't know what you guys think, but you look at like Formula One in particular. There's been some big incidents over the last 10 years, and each time there was a big incident, something new was implemented. So now there's catch fences and wheels are tethered on to the car so they don't separate and fly out into the crowd, and so it'll be interesting to see if there's any repercussions of that accident. And there's been a few similar mind-numbing accidents over the last few years, but the things will have to be implemented, and stuff like that, I guess, means cost, and it'll be interesting to see. I don't know, but it was pretty scary footage, some of the stuff I saw, and let's hope, thankfully everyone's okay. In particular, of course, Leah was just a crazy incident. I don't know. There's no way you can stop those things, but there is maybe ways you can prevent things happening. Actually, I saw, speaking of Phil Lamartina, Jeff Cuttajar, if you follow him at all, does a lot of wiring, and he's a guru and race pack stuff and all that. And he was wiring up Lamartina's car the other day with a whole new sort of wiring setup and computers and blah 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 and a grid and all sorts of stuff. But he was actually had wiring tethered right the way through the car, in terms of it almost looked as if from what I was reading, as if the car bows too far, it'll start cutting power or something, like on a grid, which I think seems interesting. So that'll be interesting to see. What happens there. Chassis expiration timeframes. Yeah, mate, 100% Dean Roseneder just saying their chassis expiration. Mate, I think they're pretty strict on it now, especially after. So I've got a mate that has been in the States on the circuit for nearly 15 years now. He was a good mate of ours from here in Brisbane. Worked with us on the fuel car with Mick Atherwood and Roy. And took an opportunity with my other mate, so his name's Dave, and Dave and my other good mate Gary took an opportunity to go back with Gary Densham when he was here, and they're both still there, but Dave's pretty much full time. He's been with Densham there at the time, and then Clay Milliken for many years, and Bob Vandergriff. So he was with Vandergriff at the time that Larry Dixon's car split in two pieces. There, what's that? Is that 3 or 4 years ago now? And talking to him, just messaging back and forward, they were bemused as to why it happened, and went to the nth degree. Had metal tests done, had all sorts of stuff done, and really at the end of the day couldn't come up with a reason why. And some implementation from NHRA and manufacturers and that since those accidents have come in, and expiration is definitely a thing. But I think mate, when you're talking about a Schumacher car, Don Schumacher car that, of course, that Leah Pruitt runs, that's going to be the latest gear, and they're not taking any risks. So, yeah, I don't know, mate. Phil Lamartina's second crash, that chassis was 5 runs old and not even 5 full runs. I don't know. So I guess that's, in a way, that's a little bit of a scary point, is that they couldn't find a reason why. some might just put it down that it's racing and that's the stresses. It's crazy when you see it. So there's some good photos getting around. Of course, Leah's car's, pyramided in the middle, but even looking at Tony Schumacher was in the lane next to her, and the arch on those cars these days is just insane. Anyway, that's racing, and hopefully, thankfully everyone's coming out safe from that. All right, it's been good. Had a little bit of a ramble on tonight, a few different things. Again, guys, get to a track. Hope you're all safe. Christmas will be here before we know it. I think everyone's sort of planning forwards to next year, 2021. We're just looking forward to see what's going on there. It's certainly changed our lives, isn't it, this year? I think people are, from my understanding, from what people I've spoken to, and people are more inclined to stay home now a little bit. Even you talk to some of the freight companies and the post office up here and that, they're saying they're doing a lot more deliveries and that because people are just staying home instead of going to the shops and that sort of stuff. So when you do go out, I think it's a better. I don't know. Does that seem strange? It's almost like a better experience because it's something you haven't done as much of lately. So I don't know about you guys. I got these, like I said, I got these 5 events still coming up, but I'm not planning on doing much else until next year. Next year seems to be, we're looking forward, sort of thinking, oh well, this one's sort of gone, and we'll move on. But anyway, we'll see. Who knows what's tomorrow's going to bring next week, So anyway, guys, thanks. Paul, hello, Killer, mate. Good to have you on, mate. Depends on where the chromoly tube is actually manufactured. Not so much, mate. You could be onto something there as well. I don't know. I mean, where does that get made? Yeah, you could be onto something there. Actually, guys, I'll just quickly, mate, just triggered me something. Like I said, I had a pretty quiet weekend. I just did a bit of mucking around on a car and a bike. And just did a few things around the house. But I sat down and watched a bit of Netflix and that, which obviously I haven't done for a while. There's a thing on the documentary on Netflix at the moment about the Space Shuttle Challenger. Now, if you're not old enough to remember that, a very unfortunate incident where 90 seconds after takeoff, the space shuttle exploded, and unfortunately, 7 people on board. The 7 people on board were killed, unfortunately. And this was an investigation into it, a documentary, and it had original footage, and it was really interesting, guys. And it sort of really comes back to a flaw in human nature and the way the world is, how everything's governed by money and greed. And I won't give you what happened, but basically NASA relied obviously heavily on funding from the government, and then had to provide, it's a contract. So in order to get that money, they had to get shuttles up and show that they were using that money, and that the budget kept coming and the money kept coming to them. They had to keep doing their thing, and at the end of the day, they just pushed the line, they pushed the boundaries. And they made a terrible decision, really. And it's an interesting watch, guys, and it's sad, obviously, because 7 people lost their lives. But it shows, like I said, that flaw in human nature is that we're just sometimes the money just clouds our vision. Everything sort of revolves around it. Anyway, it's a good watch. Get on there, have a look. Anyway, what's happening up your way in November, Mick Apps? Coming up for a trip that way. Oh, cool, man. Hey, what is happening up your way? Drags-wise, like I said, end of November. When are you coming up, mate? Keep in touch, mate. Keep in touch. I'll let you know what's going on. If you're coming for a trip, mate. Looking forward. Keep us up to date with your event too. That's coming up shortly as well. Mick's got the... sorry, motivated mind blank, but running those drag challenge type events down there drag. What is it, mate? Help me out. Sorry, mate. I apologise. Down there, they're great events too. So keep on. See if we can pop. Somebody's messaging me. Hang on. See who this is. I'll check that out later. Anyway, mate, I'll keep up. I'll talk to you before then, eh? But if you're coming up, maybe we might catch up for a beer or something. Eh? How's that to you? All right, guys. I hope you have a good week. Hopefully, I have something for you next week. Like I said, I've got some events coming up. I've got some other people making some inquiries, which is pretty cool. What else? Road trip, mate. I apologise. A road trip drag challenge. There it is, between Willowbank and Warwick Dragway. So they're fantastic events. Those. Actually, that's what I was sort of thinking. Mick and others watching. Matty Loy was on earlier. I wouldn't mind something like road based like that. So street based. So like I said, I got this VS Commodore. I'm thinking of doing something with that. So that you can drive it on the street and also race it. So everyone reports from everyone that does those types of events, like the road trip challenge, drag challenge that Mick Apps is running there, and drag challenge, and all those different types of events. Everyone loves those sorts of things, and they're just a lot of fun. And a challenge, a bit of a challenge. So yeah, mate, I wouldn't mind taking part in something like that. That'd be interesting. So maybe that I can work towards something like that. All right, guys. Love is all. Thanks for your support. I've been slack. Still haven't done anything with the shirts. I'm still thinking about that. A couple of people mentioned the combo, so a shirt, a sticker, and stubby cooler. So that's what I'm working towards. I'll do a post up soon. I just got a few things I've got to get sorted, and we'll get on to that. Mick Apps, do you want to come? Mate, I'd love to. I'll probably have to wait for the next one, mate, but I'll talk to you. But that'll be great, mate. All right. See you all. That's it for this week. Thanks for tuning in. Share the video if you can. Just me having a bit of a ramble. If you've got anything you want me to check into, I want to, this time of year, actually during COVID and that, a lot of people have been in the sheds or working on projects and that. I know some exciting stuff coming. If you've got some exciting stuff, message me. Don't have to put it on the post so that everyone knows. Just message me. I love learning about and hearing about different things going on and projects and what's happening in sheds and what people are, even changing things and all that sort of stuff. So I love hearing about that. So if you can feed me. You got to feed me. I need some of that stuff. I live on it. All right, Steve Dangermeyer. Thanks, mate. You too, guys. Love us all. See you soon. Get to a track. Bye.